Not even temporary tags. I remember staring at it for a few seconds longer than I probably should have. Something about vehicles with no plates always unsettles me. Still, I ignored it. I parked, grabbed my pack, and started hiking around maybe 5 p.m. The trail itself was beautiful. Quiet. Too quiet, honestly. No birds. No squirrels. No movement. It started as one of the safest weekends I'd had in months. I'd been working remote for almost 2 years at that point, and around October of 2023, I started getting really into hiking. Nothing extreme. Just weekend trails around Pennsylvania and West Virginia. I liked being alone. I liked the silence. And honestly, the Appalachian Mountains felt safer to me than cities did. No traffic. No crowds. No random people. At least that's what I thought. My friend Tyler told me about this trail system near the border of West Virginia that apparently barely anybody used anymore. He called it a hidden gem. Said there were old fire roads, abandoned ranger stations, and scenic overlooks with almost no tourists. That sounded perfect to me. I drove up there on a Friday afternoon in my old Subaru Outback with enough supplies for 2 nights. Sleeping bag. Food. Portable stove. Flashlights. Bear spray. The usual. Cell service disappeared about 40 minutes before I reached the trailhead. That wasn't unusual for Appalachia. What was unusual was how empty everything felt. The parking lot only had one other vehicle there. An old white pickup truck backed into the far corner near the tree line. No plates on it. Just wind. After maybe an hour of hiking, I came across the first weird thing. There was caution tape tied between 2 trees across an old side trail. Not official tape either. It looked homemade. Cheap yellow plastic tied in sloppy knots. And hanging from one of the branches was a wooden sign with black spray paint that just said, "Turn back." No official park markings. No logos. Nothing. At first I figured maybe hunters put it there or something. Or maybe the trail washed out. Still, something about the handwriting bothered me. It looked angry. Like whoever painted it wasn't trying to warn people. They were trying to threaten them. I kept walking. That was my first mistake. Around sunset, I found a decent clearing near a creek and set up camp. The temperature dropped fast after dark. The mountains get cold in October, especially at higher elevation. I cooked instant noodles on my stove, listened to downloaded podcasts for a little while, then crawled into my tent around 10. And for the first hour, everything felt normal. Then I heard footsteps. Very slow footsteps. Crunch. 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 At first I thought it was an animal. But animals don't walk like people. These steps had rhythm. Deliberate pacing. And they stopped right outside my tent. I froze. Completely still. You could hear somebody breathing outside. Not loud. Just enough. Then the footsteps started moving again. Slow circles around my tent. Crunch. 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 I reached for my flashlight but didn't turn it on yet. I just listened. The circling continued for maybe 2 minutes straight. Then suddenly, nothing. Absolute silence. I finally worked up the nerve to unzip the tent slightly and shine the flashlight outside. Nobody there. The woods were empty. But I immediately noticed something that made my stomach drop. My backpack had been moved. It had originally been leaning against a tree beside the tent. Now it was sitting directly in front of the entrance. Like someone had dragged it there while I was inside. I didn't sleep much after that. Every little sound kept me awake. Branches snapping far away. Movement near the creek. At one point around maybe 2 a.m., I heard what sounded like metal clanging somewhere deeper in the woods. Like pipes hitting together. The next morning, I seriously considered leaving. But daylight has a way of making you feel stupid for being scared the night before. Everything looked harmless again. Beautiful, even. So I packed some supplies and decided to explore one of the old fire roads nearby before heading home later that afternoon. Big mistake. The road looked abandoned for decades. Trees were growing through cracks in the pavement. Moss covered almost everything. And about a mile down the road, I found an old ranger station. Or what was left of it. The windows were boarded up. The roof had partially collapsed. But what immediately stood out was the smell. Rotting garbage. Human waste. Smoke. Like somebody had been living there. I should have turned around right then. Instead, curiosity got the better of me. I approached the building slowly and noticed fresh footprints in the mud outside. Not hiking boots. Work boots. Several different pairs. Recent too. One of the windows had a gap where the board was loose enough to peek through. Inside, I saw mattresses on the floor. Food wrappers. Gas cans. And guns. At least 3 rifles leaning against the wall. That's when I heard voices. Male voices. Close. Very close. I ducked instantly behind the building. My heart started pounding so hard I thought they'd hear it. Then I heard one guy laugh. Not normal laughter either. The kind where you instantly know something's wrong with the person. Another voice said, "You see that car at the lot yesterday?" Silence for a second. Then, "Yeah. He's probably still up here." My blood went cold. I stayed completely still. 2 men walked around the side of the station maybe 20 feet from me. Dirty clothes. Beards. One carrying a shotgun casually over his shoulder. They looked off. Like people who'd been isolated a very long time. One of them spit on the ground and said, "If he's smart, he left already." The other guy laughed again. Then they walked off toward the woods. I waited probably 10 full minutes before moving. Then I sprinted. I didn't even care about being quiet anymore. I just ran back toward the trail. Branches hitting my face. Boots slipping in mud. Every few seconds I kept expecting gunshots behind me. When I finally reached my campsite, my tent had been opened. Not ripped. Unzipped. Somebody had gone through my things. Food scattered everywhere. Sleeping bag partially dragged out onto the dirt. And written across my tent in black marker were the words, "We told you." I immediately started packing. Hands shaking so bad I kept dropping stuff. Then I noticed something else. Fresh cigarette smoke. Close. Too close. I looked toward the tree line and saw somebody standing between the trees maybe 50 yards away. Just watching me. Tall guy. Dark jacket. Didn't move at all. I yelled something like, "Stay the hell away from me." No response. The guy just stood there. Then slowly stepped backward behind a tree and disappeared. That's when pure panic kicked in. I threw everything into the car and started driving toward the exit road. And for a few minutes, I actually thought I was safe. Then I saw the white pickup truck in my rearview mirror, following me. The truck stayed about 100 feet behind me the entire time. Never getting closer. Never falling back. Just staying there. Watching. The mountain roads were narrow with steep drop-offs on one side, so there was no way I could speed too much. I remember gripping the steering wheel so hard my fingers hurt. Then suddenly the truck flashed its high beams. Over and over. I ignored it. Then it started accelerating. Fast. It slammed into the back of my Subaru hard enough to fishtail me toward the edge of the road. I nearly went over the side.